Hello everybody, this is Gogi Moon. Today, I'm going to be talking about the Dan Henry 1975 on impulse buy. It has been more than a year since I last bought a watch. And I've been a person who was buying watches every month. There was a time I was buying watches every 3 weeks. And we're speaking about respectable watches. I was that crazy about watches. But then I came to my senses. But then I was like, I'm gonna revisit that. Perhaps it may be worth it. So, I saw Dan Henry release a watch. And if I'm aware of something in the watch world, it's Dan Henry or few like Urban Gentry. These two channels, something I'm aware of. So when I see that Dan Henry's coming up with a new watch, it always raises an excitement because where can I begin with that? This is my fourth Dan Henry watch, and this, for price point, I mean, even if you just ignore the price point is just a bonus. You're getting tremendous value, passion, a product of passion, a product of creativity that came from experience and knowledge of watches of a certain era. And passion enough to care about the details of those watches, like finding something beautiful about the details of those watches, because Dan only produces watches that he loves. And you could clearly see his passion in how he executes his product. This watch itself is going to showcase that. I can continue to talk about Dan Henry as a brand and how significant it is. And it is only just the beginning when it comes to that brand. In other videos, as I speak about more other Dan Henry watches. So this watch was an impulse buy. On the pictures, it did not look interesting, I'll be honest. It did not look interesting. But I bought it, and when I received it, and when I opened it, you know what I was very looking forward to, and what really interested me about this watch was the use of orange in this white dialed version. It reminded me of Explorer, and so this watch comes in like 28 variations. It comes with orange color, black and gilt, and as well as white, and you get to choose the straps. You get to choose the bezel. So I could have, in this specific model, a white sapphire, which is beautiful. It goes with the theme. With the gilt, you have the gilt. With the black dialed watch, you can have the option of the steel or a black sapphire. With the orange, it's also the option of a black sapphire bezel or a steel bezel. So many variations, a lot to choose from, and it comes in automatic and a quartz movement. So it uses the Seiko Mecha Quartz VH31 movement. So it has this, even though it's quartz, it has that sweeping automatic like second-hand movement, which vibrates 14,000 times an hour. And the automatic movement is the Miura caliber 9015. So the automatic only comes in 39 millimeters, and the quartz comes in 39 millimeters or 37 millimeters. So what interested me about this watch was its size. I was like, for a watch with a plain white dial and something that could put a steel bezel on it, and with an orange highlights, for its size, it should be a very, 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 very interesting watch. The dome sapphire crystal, and the profile it's a very slim watch. It is a very slim watch for a diver's watch, because during the 1970s, this was the movement, this was the trend so this watch is inspired from Omega Admiralty, and during that time period, the trend was more towards making diver watches, which are like more practical, which are slim, which are not hefty, as the watches usually the diving watches are. So, being a dive watch, it has the depth rating of 150 meters. So, when I saw this, with this steel bezel, I was mind blown. I was I was mind blown, and I think it takes something. It takes something to actually blow my mind. That thing is to be something truly, truly, truly special to blow my mind. So this reminds me of the Explorer. If I put in oyster bracelet on it, and I have ordered an oyster bracelet, so the package itself, it sells with one band, and other Dan Henrys used to come with a steel bracelet, but not this time, considering inflation. I let that one go. Plus, the quality of bands he's using this time is higher, even though mine tore, which they replaced in I messaged them, the customer support, they replaced in 15 minutes. They messaged me back in 15 minutes that we have shipped you a brand new one, a brand new band. So, I think this is going to be very, very beautiful and interesting with an oyster bracelet, even though Dan Henry does sell an oyster-like bracelet, but with the polished mid links. So, but I want a brushed mid links because I feel like even though the polish is beautiful, the brush would really let us focus more on the dial because it's already a very simple watch. Makes us focus more on the dial and make that dial stand out. And the beauty about this dial is that it's the perfect shade of the colors chosen. The white is not shocking white. It's not even, it's matte white. It's similar to the white used in Oyster Perpetual 39 by Rolex. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And same goes with the orange and black as well. So absolutely wonderful choice. And how the contrasting colors are used for in the white, there's black contrasting hands. And the markers itself, they're not like sitting plain with the dial. They're rising up. They're rising up. So this adds that character, that third dimension to the dial. And adding that to a sapphire crystal, dome sapphire crystal, it's very, very, very beautiful watch. And specifically the one that I've chosen, I know that the white sapphire would look beautiful, but I think that this steel bezel really makes the white dial stand out. And this steel bezel, you could see how well polished it is, the quality you're getting for this amount of money, how well polished it is, how shiny it is. It's absolutely phenomenal. So at the back there is an octopus with an old diving helmet. That's a very only a person who truly is experienced in a craft, in a sport. If this is a diver's watch, you could look at this watch and look at how it's designed with the details specifically like that at the back, the octopus at the back. You could tell that the guy who designed it has experience with the sea life. It's a pivotal part of his life. And Dan Henry is a sailor himself. So you could clearly see his experience and passion. It's not just guys who are at their home reading stuff and just taking inspiration from older models and creating a new watch. It's not like that. So it's something very authentic like that. So the Super Lumino new Lume is on both the bezel and the dial and the bezel is the sapphire when you choose the sapphire option. If you use the steel option, of course you don't get the lume there. What this watch reminds me is also of Patek, the Nautilus 57. And I feel like if it had, I know this is watch completely inspired from a different generation, a different class of watches, but it reminds me of Nautilus, the way it wears, the slimness of it. And if it just had that transcending bracelet, it would be a very innovative homage to it. And that's why I feel like an oyster bracelet on this is going to look phenomenal in my opinion. I have an interesting idea with regard to this watch. I think with factory and with I don't know what you call the bracelets that slim down, like how with Rolex oyster bracelets. I don't think the bracelets sold by Dan Henry specifically for this watch with the polished middle links, they don't slim down a lot. They're still thick. For a watch this small, to keep it proportional, to have it as a right, to really add some beauty to it, to add some character to it, the bracelet needs to slim down. I don't know what's the terminology for that used. What's a technical term for that? So an improvised version of this could be a bracelet that truly flows in with the dial and which is brushed and it slims down. towards the clasp, and it should come in Tiffany color. I know I'm dreaming. I know I'm dreaming, but trust me on that. Trust me on that. So people, that's all for my review for this watch today. Let me know what you think. It's my first video talking about watches, so let me know what you guys think. And take care of yourself. Stay safe. Assalamu alaikum.